Welcome to the Sit Down Zumock podcast here on the Comedy Pop-Up Network. It's the Z-Man, Chad Zumock, the Lawson's Chip Dip consumer, joined in studio by one of my favorite guys, Chris Franjola.
Thank you. Wow, you have a great voice for this.
Thank you.
I know, that's really good. I wish I had like that type of voice. What do they call it? Timbre? I feel like I'm losing as I get older. My timbre.
Timbre?
That's what they call it, your radio voice or whatever, your speaking voice. They call it timbre.
I didn't know that.
I don't know why, but I've heard that. I've heard radio guys say as you get older, you have a tendency to lose your timbre. I feel like that's what happened to me. You have a really good voice.
I have good timbre?
Yeah, you have really good timbre.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my takeaway from listening to Chad.
I'm gonna put that on my Tinder profile.
Yeah, put that on. Good timbre. Good Tim. What is going on, Chad? What do you do on this podcast? Well, we just talking about comedy, talking about the way the world works.
I don't have any theme to this. I've just been doing it. I tried to do a theme, then I was just like, you know what, screw it, because you can get some gold if you go in a different area.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah,
we did that. We kind of did the same thing. We have a podcast called Cover to Cover here at the same thing you guys do. Yours.
Please plug before we get going.
Yeah, we tried to start doing something, and it ended up being just kind of riffing on things. Yeah.
There's so much content out there too. So
never ends.
Never ends.
What do you want to start with?
Well, it's like an interrogation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
I don't know. I don't know how you know.
Did you or did you not kiss Chelsea Handler?
I never kissed her. No. We never kissed. We never like had any sexual vibe toward each other. Not me toward her, nor her toward me. Thankfully.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to just work together.
Keep it professional.
Yeah.
I like your style.
Now that fortune.
Yeah. I do. I mean, I've worked with a lot of women, and I've never been like Me Too'd or anything. Thank God. Because I've never been that guy. I'm not one who needs to show my dick to people without consent.
Yeah, consent's it's a lost art form. It's
I feel like it's more fun consensual, isn't it? I don't know. I don't get it the other way. I really don't. I'm not. But I sometimes feel like maybe I'm not sexed up enough. Like, cause as we went through like the last couple of years, all this Me Too shit.
Yeah.
I feel like, God, am I just like the low sex drive or something? Or that I don't need to whip my dick out at noon in an office when I'm having a meeting? It just seems strange to me.
I did love that line in Chappelle's special. He's like, I got a Me Too headache.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But this is going to be coming out next Tuesday, so this is fresh right now, and I'm sure it's still going to be talked about. But the whole Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Have you guys touched on that on your podcast?
We just talked about it. Sure. It's, that's what happens in this world these days. You're just going to have to get used to it, I think.
So do you think this is going to be a trend?
Well, here's my take on it. And we just discussed this, so we're kind of fresh on it. That's just the way TV has always been about the advertisers. It's just TV started because of, they were trying to sell soap.
Right.
So Sid Caesar and Milton Berle. And that's what it was about. And that's what it's still about. So if Shane Gillis says, chink or whatever, that the reason why he's not doing it, then and the advertisers Saturday Night Live say we can't do it, then you can't do it. I don't think there's anything. I get it. I understand. That's what TV is. TV, especially network NBC television, is about that safe shit.
True, but on the flip side of that, you got Eddie Murphy hosting December 23rd. Sure. If you dig up a little. A couple tracks on his albums.
Oh, I loved it. I thought, first of all, the one that you're talking about, I know what you're talking. I mean. That's special, but it was just a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time, and and you know what? This will probably wind up having Eddie Murphy not do this Saturday Night Live, like it happened a few years back. He was supposed to host the
Oscars. That's right, and
some shit started to come about, and he was just like, you know what? I don't need it.
Yeah,
like I'm not. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw his Comedians in Cars.
Of course,
he does. He says it. He goes. Seinfeld asks him what he does these days. He goes, nothing. And he goes, when I say nothing, I literally mean nothing. I sit in the house and stare straight ahead for fucking hours. And I can almost understand it. I'm like, you don't have to do anything anymore. So when you get the least bit of blowback on something, you're Eddie Murphy. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't need to do it.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, I bet something like that happens.
I'm willing to bet that too. That's interesting.
Yeah. He'll be like, I'm not going to fly to New York and have people protesting out front when I can sit in my fucking, $20 million mansion in whatever and not have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need it. It's a world. Like when I heard he was coming back to Netflix and doing a $70 million special or whatever, I was like, does he want to do that? Do you want to get back into this world?
Yeah.
Where you can't say what you said on Raw or Delirious? And I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you need to. Let you be the Eddie Murphy we all remember.
I think he wants to, and especially in this day and age of, I would say, it's retro. Everyone likes, they're rebooting everything.
Right, sure.
Nostalgia.
Sure. Yeah.
Nostalgia, the whole nostalgia factor, and Coming to America too, and everyone's. So I think he likes the fact that our people are happy about that, so he wants to provide that.
But will an hour of stand-up from Eddie Murphy just be as good anymore? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think he knows.
I don't know if he could get it back to what it was, when he was 23 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have some writers if he got that much cash coming your way.
Yeah, he had writers. I mean, he was one of the first guys who I remember seeing him, and he had no problem really talking about his writers on Raw. I remember it was like Keenan Ivory Wayans was a writer on it, and Robert Townsend.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying that, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize people would just admit they had writers for some of their material.
Yeah, that's always baffling when I hear that. Like I hear Chris Rock has writers.
Yeah, right.
And it's just like the whole fun of this is coming up with it on our own and performing it, and wow, it worked, and it's something I came up with.
When I was working on Chelsea Lily, we had Kevin Hart actually host a couple of Chelsea had to do some stuff, and we had Kevin Hart as a guest host, and it was before Kevin really blew up, but he was still on the rise, and he showed up with 10 writers.
Yeah, I know for well, I mean, if you look at his body of work and everything he does, he needs writers because he has so much going on.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He's got a radio show, movies, TV, whatever. There's
no way he could sit and go up and write material.
Yeah.
Go up in the Yoo-hoo room into flappers and work out his act.
Which you remind me, I forgot to put my things in.
Oh, you're not going to? Oh, no.
Damn.
God damn it. Oh, poor Chad's not going to get up at the Yoo-hoo room in front of 4 people on a Tuesday.
We were talking off mic before we started because I had already done Governors after this aired.
Yeah, that's
so
my
you're from
town.
Long Island?
I'm from Long Island. Governors, McGuire's it's called, but Governors recently bought it. That's been there forever. God, 20-something years. Everybody has come through there. Ray Romano, Seinfeld,
right.
Rosie O'Donnell, all the Long Island people, Kevin James, all of them come through that place. It's going to be, you'll have a Long Island weekend. But you're a fucking ballsy comic. You can handle it. There are some guys I see going out there, and I'm like, it's what Adam Ferrara, Adam Ferrara?
I know.
Good comedian,
I know
funny
him.
guy. He was a Long Island guy, I believe, or came up through that system.
Was he the guy who had the car show? Was that him?
Yeah, really funny guy. He calls playing Long Island, he calls it lion tamer comedy. Basically, like you need a chair and a whip and just fucking get through the hour.
Yeah.
45 minutes, whatever. So it's that.
It's like doing comedy at Roadhouse where Patrick Swayze bounced.
That's it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was just watching that. It was on, it's always on like TBS or something.
Yeah.
I always found it funny that Ben Gazzara, who plays like the heavy in that movie, he's like the richest guy in town.
Oh, yeah.
Yet he's got nothing better to do but have a beef with the bouncer of the bar. I'm like, leave the fucking bouncer alone. The guy's just trying to make a fucking buck here. Why are you fucking with him?
Well, there's not much going on. When you're rich, you get bored. And this new guy's in town, and
fuck with the bouncer.
He's fucking up the operation over there. They got a whole thing going on.
Whatever happened to that actor? She was in like 5 movies in the 80s. Kelly Lynch. She was
the blonde?
Gorgeous.
Oh, she was gorgeous. Yeah, she gets naked in it.
Yeah, she was in Cocktail. She was in like 3 huge movies. Cocktail.
Who did she play in Cocktail?
She played Brian Brown's girlfriend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, remember when she comes in the bikini up the beach?
When he gets rich, yeah.
When he gets rich, exactly. And then one other, Drugstore Cowboy, great movie with Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon, yeah. Great movie. Anyway, and then she's one of those people who I believe was Me Too'd out of the business before you could say anything. People didn't listen. You look at all these beautiful actresses from that era, Madeline Stowe, her, they just went away. They're gone. And I think they were just like, fuck it. I can't get fucking fingered by Harvey Weinstein every weekend.
Yeah.
And they were probably yelling about it, but nobody was listening. So they just quit.
That's interesting. Yeah, because they just kind of like went to the wayside.
Deborah Winger, like all of those actors just
Deborah Winger, Sean Young.
Oh, sure. There's another one. They were all huge and beautiful, but they probably every weekend had to go through shit with every asshole in the business. They were like, fuck it, I quit.
That's a good theory right there. Yeah. going back to Roadhouse, because you can't just touch on Roadhouse and
it's
move on.
Amazing.
It's one of those rewatchable, like you said, it's on TBS. I'm watching it, edited. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm watching the rest of it.
It's one of those ones you can pick up at any time. Too.
Yeah.
If you come in 15 minutes in, you kind of get the idea.
Then you get Sam Elliott in the mix. Come on.
You bring in Sam Elliott, who comes to really clean some shit up. He's an old bouncer who comes in to take care of some shit. You got the lead singer of X is in the movie. I forget the band X. His name is he's in the movie. He's an actor.
John Doe.
John Doe. There you go. John Doe's in it. Thank you. And then a guy who had a hit song, Jeff Healey, blind. He's now dead.
Yeah.
He plays the Roadhouse.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, he died a few months ago. He had.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
He plays the entertainment in the Roadhouse.
I mean, that bar.
Great fucking movie.
Brutal, man.
Yeah, brutal bar. Brutal bar. And Swayze at his best, just fucking kicking, and
he's got the abs. He's
got the haircut.
Yeah.
Tiny little guy, Swayze, like little tiny guy.
Is he a tiny guy?
Yeah, I think he was very small in stature because he was a dancer, So if you look at him with his shirt off, I mean, he's not like today's like The Rock. you know? He was a little dude, I think.
I have a confession. Last time I was really, really drunk, Swayze's "She's Like the Wind" came on the radio, and I started crying.
Oh, how could you not? Through my trees and next to me. That was he did. That's how fucking great Swayze was. Swayze's like, not only am I going to be a star of the movie, I'm going to sing the fucking song in the movie of Dirty Dancing. That's in the Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, that's right.
Soundtrack. Yeah.
I'm taking this whole thing over.
Yeah, I'm doing everything here. Yeah, She's Like the Wind. Great movie from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack.
Matt Fultron used to have a great joke, and I'm going to screw.
Oh, I love Matt Fultron.
Yeah, he has a joke about. He goes, I was with my girl the other day, and Dirty Dancing 2 came on because there's a second.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no Swayze, no Wazy.
Yeah, there's no Swayze, and it's Latino. I think it's called like Salsa Nights or something, or Havana Nights. Dirty Dancing 2
Salsa
I think it's called
Nights.
Havana Nights. I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. And it's about the salsa scene when that was big. That was a hot scene for a while. Not salsa with you put on chips, you fucking idiots. It's dancing salsa. You know what I'm saying.
There's always those like sequels that are just shit.
Oh, absolute shit that come years later. Nobody involved in the first one's even involved in it. And what was recently? Oh, Dumb and Dumber.
There were 2 Dumb and Dumbers.
There was 2.
Yeah.
And I believe there was. I could be mistaken, but I think there was also 2 Dirty Dancing 2s. I think there was 2.
But
there was Dumb and Dumber, years ago. That was completely not, Jim Carrey or Jeff Daniels. And then there was the recent one with the 2 of them back, and just didn't have the same pop.
Well, wasn't Jamie Kennedy in Son of the Mask?
Oh God, yes, one of the worst movies ever. Yeah, that was like, just playing the Jim Carrey role.
Yeah, with no disrespect, Jamie, I love you, but
no,
horrible movie.
I think Jamie would be the first to tell you that.
Yeah. Home Alone 3, there was one in 97.
Home Alone, there was actually a Karate Kid. I don't know if you remember where Macchio. It was a girl.
It was Hilary Swank. Yeah, that's right.
Hilary Swank took over. Macchio was gone, and Hilary Swank took over as the Karate Kid.
Oh, they milked it. And then,
of course, they made another complete remake of it with Will Smith's kid.
Yeah, which was terrible.
Yeah,
Jaden.
Thank you, Alex.
They had The Fly 2 in 89. I didn't even know there was a Fly 2.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Fly 2. The Fly was a remake of a remake.
Yes.
The Jeff Goldblum one was a remake of a 50s movie. And then they made a Fly 2 with Goldblum?
Yeah, I don't think Goldblum was in it.
Oh, it was Eric Stoltz, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Eric Stoltz.
You might be right. Right. I'm trying to see what else we got here. This is The Exorcist 2, Return of Linda Blair.
Yes.
Are we looking at Jamie Kennedy's?
No.
That's funny.
Are we looking at his IMDb?
Well, if you look at Jamie Kennedy's thing now, he's playing the Yoo-Hoo Room at Flappers. I think that's what he'll be.
No, if you're in Hollywood, you can go to any comedy club tonight, tomorrow, and see Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah,
go visit him.
Yeah, he's always performing somewhere.
And never doesn't crush, by the way.
No, Jamie's great.
So well.
But Jamie's, he's had a fucking career.
Yeah.
There's Mannequin 2, On the Move.
Yes. Is that now with the Andrew McCarthy?
Oh, no.
That's when they gave the gay character like more of a role.
Yeah, he kind of took over from there. He's like, I got it.
I think his name was Hollywood or something. He took over. And it was a different mannequin. Kim Cattrall was replaced by Christy Swanson. She went on to become the mannequin in that. Christy Swanson went on to become Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I believe she was in a movie called with her and Charlie Sheen are running from people in a car.
Oh, the
It's called
chase.
The Chase, yeah.
Because Anthony Kiedis and Flea from the Chili Peppers.
They get
in there.
chased by Flea and Anthony Kiedis.
I remember that.
That's a terrible movie, but one of those ones you can't stop watching.
How could you forget Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles?
Oh, I mean, some of those movies were so great, they just couldn't live. Sequels couldn't live up to. Colin Quinn has a great. He's in Crocodile Dundee 2.
Oh,
a
that's
very
right.
small part, and he tells a story. That's from his drinking days. He tells a story about. He actually literally didn't like the script. He had one line in the movie, but he decided to rewrite the script. And on the set the day he was shooting, he handed it to Paul Hogan and said, like, "Here's a better version of this movie." Like, that's the balls he had. Like,
Wow.
He was so out of his mind. He said, "This is not a good movie. Here's a better version I just wrote."
That's
to
not
the star of the movie.
That's not a script. This is a script.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
That's funny, man.
It's pretty funny.
American Psycho 2, All American Girl.
Oh, I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, it was a sequel to the American Psycho with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Did not do well with the critics, 11%.
I think they'll throw us a part 2 on anything if it has a little bit of success.
Yeah, a little bit of juice. And
Yeah.
then you got Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo.
That I remember.
Rob returned for that one.
Yeah. I best sequel, if I had to pick, I believe Aliens is better than Alien. I think the second one is better than the first one. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that one. And a worse sequel is a Jaws from a great, like, maybe I think Jaws might be my all-time favorite movie. And it gets to, I think it's Jaws 3. 3D. Dennis Quaid.
That's right.
Is in it. He escapes the shark is in like a park, like a SeaWorld.
Yeah.
And it starts attacking people like in the SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Then you have a Jaws 4 that Lorraine Gary, who plays the original wife of Chief Brody in the first one, she comes back for 4.
Oh, really?
And I'm not fucking around when I say this. It goes so it's so bizarre that I believe the shark finds like Chief Brody's wallet on the ocean floor and finds out where they live and like goes to the house.
The shark?
Yeah, I'm not fucking around.
I don't
I'm like,
remember this.
That's how strange it is. Like the shark doesn't go knock on the door, but like finds the waters that they live by from some. It's fucked up. Yeah. Anyway, that's like those are the worst sequels ever. The Jaws sequels.
I would love to be in a terrible film. Like, I would love it. And just so talk about it.
Have you been in any films along the way?
I did a Netflix original. Dalia got me in it. I play a paramedic, and my line got cut. But
what was the name of the movie?
it was called Little Evil, starring who's the guy? Fucking let me pull it up.
Little Evil. I never heard of it.
It was a Netflix. It just came out 2 years ago.
Yeah. It was Wayne's. Wasn't it Wayne's?
No.
No?
Little Evil. My line was, "Where's the burnt clown?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe that got cut.
It was directed by Eli Craig. 2 stars.
Oh.
And it was Adam Scott was the
Adam Scott
yeah.
from all right.
I made him laugh on set, so that was
He's
cool.
kind of now not the there's a golfer called Adam Scott too, but this is Adam Scott from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, he's a good actor.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a terrible film?
Oh my God, thousands. I've never been in a good film. When I first started out here, like when I first came to LA, I would audition and be in every, just horror films. And that's back when you could, there was no Netflix or anything. So movies would be made, never to be seen.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever became of any of them. But yeah, I made a thing called Demon Wind, which I think we talked about on our podcast.
Demon Wind?
Demon Wind. And people found it. It's out there. And I play a demon in it, a cowboy demon, they called me. And so I'm in a lot of the movie, but I'm in full demon makeup, so you don't even know who I am. I was in a movie called My Mom's a Werewolf with John Saxon, who was an actor who played the $7 Million Man, if you remember him. He was 6 minutes, Lee Major's arch nemesis in the $6 Million Man.
Is this Demon Wind in 1990?
Yeah, 1990.
There it is.
I made it in like 89, and it came out in 90. I was in that. I have a relatively...
How many stars, Chad?
Oh, it's the worst thing you'll ever see.
It says 2 here on IMDb.
Wow.
Directed by Charles Philip Moore. You still keep in touch?
He went on to direct so many amazing movies. Charles Philip Moore.
This is great.
Yeah.
What was another?
Did you find a picture of him as the demon?
I don't know if you could find.
I feel like someone posted that on our Facebook
somebody
group.
found it. Somebody went in and found a picture of me as the demon.
Or maybe they
I'm
just
wearing a
ordered the
kerchief on
VHS.
my neck because I was a cowboy, so they put a kerchief on my neck, so I just look like a Yeah.
Like a village person.
Yeah, dude. Like, what the, just as gay demon. Anyway,
The only thing I pulled up is you at the Ice House.
Oh yeah, that
Doing comedy time
30 years ago. Oh God, remember comedy? Did you ever do comedy time?
Yeah.
We all got our $25, and it's still the one thing that pops up when you Google me.
Okay, this is true story. When I got started in comedy, I was probably about 2 years in,
Right.
And I remember Mike Jaglin was producing Comedy Time,
Right.
And I was terrible. I was doing like my act was a shitty version of Jeselnik's and Brody Stevens.
Okay.
It was like a character. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I go there and I have a great set because it's the Ice House,
Right.
And this little clip opened up a million doors for me. Like I was getting in, I got past at the Hollywood Improv,
Really?
and I was getting
From a comedy time clip.
from a Comedy Time clip.
That's good.
So yeah, well it was. And then I realized I was like, I'm gonna get exposed. I only have like 7 minutes,
Right.
And I'm getting these primetime spots. I'm on Comedy Juice, and I was like, that's why I moved back home to Cleveland. I was like, I got to get good where no one can see me because back then you don't want to get exposed too early. There was like a whole thing. Now it just doesn't matter. It's the Wild West. You can 2 minutes, and just as of 2 years ago, that clip resurfaced, and I watch it. I go, I'm doing Brody Stevens. I was like, I got to get rid of this.
Brody Stevens was so hard not to do. If you watched him 4 times, you just started to do the cadence.
The cadence.
You couldn't. I mean, we both know Brody very well from just coming up in this scene.
Yeah.
You saw him. If you came up in the scene, you saw Brody every night in every bar that would show that would have him. And 3-4 times you were like, everybody knows Brody's cadence, and you just started doing it.
Yeah,
it's hard not to.
And I was just doing like I wasn't stealing, but I was just like, I just got a Von Dutch hat, the first one. I was just doing this and that, and so I had him take it down.
I was guilty of early on. I was guilty of Norm Macdonald's cadence. Like if you watch the really old clips of me, I'm totally ripping off his voice, his style, completely. And a lot of people write underneath the comments of like, not only you suck, you suck.
Was he like a big influence on you coming up?
No, not really. I don't even really know his material to this day. I don't know. I've watched his stuff, but I don't know it that well. But for some reason, I just picked up his cadence.
Right.
I don't know why. You know how you do with the.
Oh yeah, another guy like that is Mark Normand. Like, he's like, hey, I just worked with him in Irvine over the weekend. I'm walking around the house. Hey, fatty. Hey.
Right. So. Yeah, you do pick up on it. It's interesting. I forget who it was, who comedian said they can't listen to other comics for that reason.
I think it was Norton says that a lot.
Yeah. So you could just kind of get their style.
I quit watching comedians because I hate comedy at this point. So.
This has been the best part that's come out of all of this, whether it's you're for or against, like the Chappelles or the Bill Burr specials. Like, the best thing that has come out of it is I've seen a lot of tweets of, like, some comics I like here's the deal, everybody. All comedy sucks. Like, forget Chappelle and Bill Burr, whether you like it or not. It all sucks. And it kind of does. Like, it's all shit. But I mean, in a good way. Or, like, if you like comedy, you like comedy. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
Like, most of my family members hate stand-up comedy. They're like, you expect me to watch any of, like, I don't give a fuck if it's Chappelle or anybody.
Yeah.
It all sucks to me. My brothers, like, hanging out are funnier than Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? Like, that's their thing. They're like, this is my electrician friends are funnier than this shit.
Yeah.
And that's what they think.
I got a buddy named, I call him Whitey. He works at Home Depot back home. He's the funniest human being I ever met in my life.
So
he doesn't do stand up.
Watch this shit and they're like, this isn't funny. Like, I'm funny. And in a way they are, So that's always, and you'll when you go to McGuire's on Long Island, you'll meet 10 of these guys.
Oh yeah,
I'll show you funny, and then they'll tell you about something.
Oh yeah, after the show.
Yeah, they're always the funniest person in the room.
I got a joke for you.
Yeah, right.
Would you start considering your body of work? Can you even picture yourself starting stand-up comedy now?
No, I don't know.
I don't think I would want to.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know. People always ask, like, how do you get, or even, headlining on the road? I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. I got lucky as shit. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I headlined is because I got on Chelsea Lately. And after, a year on Chelsea Lately, clubs would take you because people watch the show.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I was kind of ready to headline. I wasn't great, but I could fucking muddle through an hour.
Yeah.
Now I'm much better.
Sure.
But I could do it. I wasn't one of those people who had 15 minutes. I had the time. Yeah. I was doing it for a ton before I got Chelsea Lately. I was doing it for 15 years.
Yeah. How many years are you in?
Oh, like 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, brand new.
But to know, I had no success. Like I was doing the shows we all did together out here. I never was an improv guy. I was never a Comedy Store guy. I was never a Laugh Factory guy. I just never, not any fault of theirs or mine. I was just never in that world.
Yeah.
I did bar shows. That's how I came. I did Red Rock. I did, the Westwood Brewing Company. I did that shit.
Matty Ballgame used to.
Matty Ballgame Ballicker. Yes,
yeah.
that's who I love that room. And those are the rooms I did. And I still kind of do enjoy doing them.
Yeah.
But that's how I came up. I never did improvs or Comedy Stores. It was never my scene.
That Chelsea Lately thing was a launching pad for a lot of you guys.
It was great. I mean, it was the last show they could really.
I'm actually jealous I never got to go on that.
I know. It was a great show for comics because you didn't have to do material. You could be funny, and there were no rules. Nobody. There was nobody like I just recently did Spade show. I did Lights Out.
Yeah,
and they're very open and let you do, but they have a writer come down and work with you on stuff, and we never did that on Chelsea. They're like, you got it. No problem. We don't need to look over your stuff. We trust you, and for that reason, you were able to do kind of whatever you wanted.
Yeah,
and it was real fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know if it could be done anymore, like that type of show.
Yeah,
it was just too. I mean, God, some of the things we said on that show, none of us could be on Saturday Night Live. Well, we had Heather McDonald played a character. A trans character in a bathing suit with a big giant cock in her bikini.
Really?
Yeah, and we could never do that today. It was 5 years ago, but a completely different world now.
I mean, does it upset you with this culture that's out there now? Or are you just going with it?
I just, I'm not. I know your reputation, and I know, but listen, I've never been that guy. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I like you, and I like Tripoli, and I like those fucking guys who do it.
Yeah.
I like to read it.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, God damn, you guys have balls. I don't have those kind of balls to fight with people on, that kind of shit.
Well, you're too nice of a guy.
I don't know if I do it silently, while I'm driving in my car down to Irvine. I'll shit on comedians in my own head.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it publicly. Not just for fear of like, I don't want any problems.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's like if I don't have something going on, then I have to always have some sort of drama going on. I don't know why that is.
Right. And that I like it. I like people who do that. I have a different following. I have just female following. It's just it doesn't suit my style. Like there are times where even on our podcast, Alex and I will go a little mean, and I'm like, we should cut that out. I don't want to be too mean to people, And I used to be so much meaner. I've definitely softened over the years.
That's good.
Yeah, I know it is.
I guess I should just stop hanging around Kevin Brennan, Sam Tripoli.
See, like those guys, I love. See, we were actually just talking about Sam, and I've known Sam, since I started comedy forever, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. In real life, whatever they know him as, and whatever people know him as. I love the guy, but I don't live in a dark world. I never did. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. Not to say more Kevin Brennan's like that guy lives in a dark world. Yeah. I don't live in that world. I know a lot of fucking comics do. They live. I just never have.
Yeah.
But that's because I don't hang around comedians really.
You're doing yourself a favor, my friend.
I know. I don't really hang around comedians.
That's I think the key to this game. If you're a young comic listening, or if is don't hang out with comics. They're very toxic.
It is. It becomes a toxic world.
I was just on the phone with Kevin Brennan this morning, and we were screaming and yelling at each other over something that happened 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah. I won't get into it, but it was just.
Now he's like a New York guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him, but of course, I know the stories.
Yeah. But we were just screaming, and I get off the phone, and I just woke up. I'm like, what? This is how I'm starting my day?
Yeah.
Getting yelled at by a comic? Like,
do you feel that New York's a more toxic scene than LA? I feel it is. I feel like I'm scared of those guys sometimes. Like when I walk into Gotham, right now, even now, I don't want to fucking tangle with him or any of those guys. Like, I don't need it.
I was just with Mark Norman in Irvine over the weekend. We were talking about L.A., New York.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a thicker skin in New York because they're constantly busting on each other, and they're almost like desensitized.
Right.
So
that's probably true.
Yeah, so they almost desensitize. But you come out to LA, you try to play that, it's just not working.
Right.
A lot of people just don't want to.
And the other thing about New York, I find, is they do hang out more together than we do here, because I think this is going to sound weird. I think it's the cars. Like we leave a set at the Comedy Store. We go to our fucking car and drive home. Like, those guys will walk down because they're walking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds strange, but
they'll get a train together.
You are kind of together more than we are here. We're done. We're in our car and we're alone again.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I don't think we hang out as much as those New York guys.
Yeah, I think there's a better sense of community there. Like every time I go out there, and I try to go out there like 4 or 5 times a year.
Right.
I know all the, like Sam Morrell, Mark Norman, and Joe List. They all they're all friends, and they'll go camping together. They'll go canoeing, and
and it's also more of a late night scene. Maybe I'm just. I'm not in the scene as much as I used to be, but like, I don't know. At 11 o'clock rolls around here, I'm like, fuck this. I'm not 11 o'clock is my spot at the Comedy Store. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's too late for me, man. Like I'm home in bed at that point.
You don't have a wife and kids, do you?
Yeah, I have a wife. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. No, I do. I just don't talk about it on podcasts.
Oh, should we keep it?
No, we'll cut that out.
Cut it out.
Yeah. No, we're not talking to cut out my wife. I have a kid too. I just had a child.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, 2 months ago.
Am I cutting this?
Yeah, cut that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't talk about it on our podcast. Why are you going to release it on Chad's?
Yeah. Why did he get the exclusive
that's
here?
big news. Yeah, I just had a girl. It's great. It's been great. Like it's 2 months. 2 months on.
Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll pick it up right here.
Yeah.
Before we get into anything else, please, ladies and gentlemen, go to my Patreon, which is Sit Down Zumock. You can sign up $3 a month for additional content. I give away tickets to shows. You don't know what you're going to get on there, but it's only $3 a month. Sit Down Zumock, Patreon, commercial break over. So,
can I ask you a question?
Yes, Chris.
Now, how long have you been doing it? How long have you been in it? I mean, I know you.
Like stand-up or podcasting or both?
Stand-up.
2004 is when I can honestly say that I was
like, I know of you, your name, everybody knows you, but I don't, like, we don't really know each other that well. We've done a couple of shows together along the way, but now you've been in it, you've done it, has varying degrees of success, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what's the hope now? Like, what's the goal at this point?
At this point,
because this is where I'm at. I'm like at this point, I'm not going to get a sitcom. You know what I mean? Like that's so I have to find where I fit in this world.
Yeah. I think with me, I'd like to get another late night credit under my belt.
Right.
Possibly.
For what? Like, what would the late night just for you? Because, it won't do anything financially.
No, it just to get on some more people's radars for probably some better representation.
Right.
More club work.
That's the thing. More club work. Right?
Yeah. I just want to do the clubs. I still do enjoy doing stand-up.
Me too. I love it.
Yeah. But I have a goal. If I don't hit these things by the time I don't know, 48.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Florida.
It's a great idea.
And I'm going to be the greatest Florida comedian of all time. And there's a million clubs down there.
Million.
Yeah. And I'm going to be like, what's his name in Cocktail? The we were just talking about
Brian Brown. Yeah.
And I'm just going to do stand up, hit on hot chicks, and die on the beach.
That's not a bad way to go. I often think about it because I'll go play some places down there.
Yeah.
And it's just gorgeous weather.
Yeah.
And so cheap compared
no state tax.
Yeah, compared to living here. And you're like, God, why am I not here? Or not only Florida. I just did that place in Chattanooga. I forget what it's called. It's a good
Comedy Zone?
there. No, it's like Comedy Zone. In Chattanooga, Tennessee. It'll come to me. But anyway,
bothering me.
Yeah, it's a good club. It's a good club. Anyway, gorgeous city, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, dirt cheap. Everything's dirt cheap. And you can just have a nice life there,
Well, that's what Nate Bargatze does. He lives in Nashville.
All these guys.
Yeah. I mean, he figured out the Matrix. Brent Ernst just moved to my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, and bought a home.
Cleveland, yeah. And who else? John Reap just moved back to his hometown of like Hickory, Kentucky or some Tennessee or whatever. A lot of guys. Dan Cummings? Dan Cummings moved to Idaho.
And it's funny, like, as soon as he moved to Idaho, that's when his career
shit blew up. I know.
So can I ask you guys something? Do you think you could do that as a young comic, or do you think you have to cut your teeth in the big cities and let people,
I think less. You could do it more than you could have when Chad and I started.
Okay.
You could definitely do it now because of a guy like Dusty Slay. If you know
Yeah.
Dusty.
Oh, Dusty.
Dusty's a great guy, featured for me all over the place. Great comic. Dusty never came to L.A. once. He's been to L.A. I think his first time in L.A. was a month ago.
You know what's funny is I saw him at the Improv, and he did like some Alan Jackson material, and the crowd just didn't even get it.
No.
Like he's more in his element.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was he having a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
having a good time.
I've seen him once having a good time. Yeah,
That Dusty's the guy who came up in Nashville. He never came here.
Yeah.
You know?
And now he's got all the late night credits, and he's constantly on the rosters.
He's the guy. He's like one of the hot guys right now. I've never been the hot guy. Have you ever been the hot guy, Chad?
Just that one time, I was kind of the hot guy.
After Comedy Pop?
After the Comedy Time heat,
yeah.
I was hot for a second. People were talking. I was just like, I got to get out.
I never was the hot guy, ever. Never had the fucking heat, ever.
Yeah.
Had a slow burn, but never like the hot guy.
Actually, you know who? Right when I was kind of getting hot, I think the reason Nick Thune went through the fucking roof, and I was right there with him.
Yeah, I remember when Nick Thune blew up, and then and now Nick is. We're all in the same fucking place.
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out.
That's what I always like when I see
Comedy Catch.
Comedy Catch. That's it. It's
cool.
not bad. It's a good club. You should actually play it. You'd be good there. It's good. He pays good. He got a nice little condo behind it, and it's a really cool little town.
Oh, cool.
Like I watched. Nick's a good example of it. Great guy. Just had a kid himself. He one of those guys who blew up. And I watch Dusty Slay, and I watch these guys blow up, and I'm like, yeah, that'll happen. And you just gotta. It's a long road.
Yeah,
you know you'll be back down here again, just like everybody else. You know?
Yeah,
Darren Carter,
the party starter. He was actually on my first episode here at the Comedy Pop-Up Studio.
I love Darren.
Yeah,
prime example. Darren Carter was like Comic of the Year in 1989, like on some big giant thing, and now it all just comes back down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I never had it. I never was Comic of the Year. I never won a contest. I never got invited to any of the Just for Laughs. Have you ever been Just for Laughs?
I never went, but I was recommended for New Faces, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. I never did any of that shit.
Yeah.
Yet I've managed to make a pretty good career in comedy for the last 20 years.
That's great.
Yeah, I know. So fuck it. You don't really need it.
There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. I think there's enough for everybody. So if you get jealous of somebody, don't, because there's enough for everyone.
Look at this. Look at podcasts. I mean, if you would have, as a matter of fact, 10 years ago when I started to hear like some rumbles about podcast stuff, I was like, nobody's going to listen. That's the radio again. Nobody's going to listen to the radio again.
Yeah.
Radio's dead. It's basically just listening to radio. And sure enough, it fucking blew up. And I don't know why. I don't know why people went, turned away from radio to kind of go back to radio.
I actually started podcasting technically in 2007 because I remember there was an app on a phone where you can call and record your conversations.
Yeah.
So I would call comics like Jeselnik, Whitney,
right,
Brody, and I would take the audio and put it on my MySpace where I go listen to my latest. Yeah, so I was like in it in the beginning.
Shit, that's
then I remember Bill Burr started doing it. Like he started doing the calling thing.
Yeah.
But I just stopped doing it, and obviously they went on to be the best of the best and the greatest.
right, yeah.
So I was like, podcast. I am a pioneer.
Yeah, in a way you are. Yeah, you know who was one of the podcast pioneers? I always tell him every time I see him. Murray Valeriano, been around a long time.
I do.
Yeah. Anyway, I swear to God, it's got to be 10 years ago. Murray did a podcast. It's called Road Stories about comics, just life on the road and whatever. And I remember doing it with him. Graham Elwood, myself.
Oh, yeah.
Murray and Jackie Cation. The four of us did it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? He's like, I put it up online, MySpace or something. And it was like back then they did it. So he was like one of the pioneers of it. It's crazy now. And they still blow up. I thought I was too late to the game or whatever. But I still see people blowing up from it that started a year ago.
You never know. It can fall into the right hands, the right ear.
Yeah, right.
It's a numbers game at this point. You guys, so what's your podcast on the network? Explain it.
We just, we started out, the plan was it was called Cover to Cover, and we were going to basically go cover to cover. Start out with a newspaper, the New York Post in this case, and do basically the way a paper runs. The headlines of the day, political or whatever, and then go into like pop culture shit, and then go into sports. But nobody gives a fuck about sports, especially my audience.
Yeah.
And then they lean more pop culture-y. So we started to go less and less Trump and more, fucking Miley Cyrus, and
Okay.
that seems to be where we're at now, right, Alex?
Yeah.
It seems to be. We're still doing like stories, but like more interesting like news stories than. I would love to sit and talk about like politics and stuff, but it would just lose my audience.
Sure.
Like we're talking about the meth gators in Tennessee. We're not
things
talking
like
about,
that.
just
Things you would see like on Chelsea lately, more or less.
Yeah.
David Spade at this point, but it's fun. We got a good following. We're doing well. It's been good.
Where people they can subscribe to it. Where obviously here.
Comedy pop up. Everywhere that
everywhere.
Are
Comedy
on.
Pop Up. All of our shows are pretty much everywhere. You can also catch Chris on Laughable too. I think his show's on there. You're on there. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ned Kenny over there. So, download the Laughable app. It's free content, and you can follow Chris to any podcast he goes on.
Is that how Laughable works?
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's
okay.
kind of has profiles per comedian, and you kind of
really?
have to have some.
I hear a lot about that. All right, cool.
I recently heard, I think they just went paid, but it hasn't affected me, and that's my main listening source. So.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Anything else you want to plug, Chris?
No. I mean, I got gigs coming up. Franjola.com. All my stuff. I'm booked, man.
Are you?
This
Good.
podcast I believe has helped, but I'm booked to almost to
This
2020.
podcast, Sit Down Zumock, has helped.
No, but these do. Like
Yeah,
this shit
yeah.
does help because people listen to podcasts. They'll go listen to more podcasts. Like talking to people who don't listen to podcasts doesn't.
Well, that's why
doesn't make any
apps like
difference.
Laughable are so cool because you hear someone you like. You don't even have to go and search their name. You could just click on their face, and you're back into everything.
But
they
then
do.
you have listeners. I do some podcasts with like there's 4 people listening. I'm like, oh, what do we do?
Yeah.
The new thing that's really kind of driving me nuts is a lot of club owners. Guys who own the comedy clubs will have a podcast now, and they'll be like, "Want to come do my podcast Saturday afternoon?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, Saturday afternoon." The one time I have a little free time, to look around the city or whatever, I come and sit in your apartment and do a podcast. Oh, I'd love to do that for the 4 people who are listening. I just did it. He's a nice guy, but he's like,
Is it the comedy on Carlson?
Oh, I do his.
Oh, yeah.
I like Comedy on Carlson.
Yeah.
I had a really good time. He's a good guy. That guy runs that show.
Yeah,
up
Mark
there.
somebody. I forgot.
Yeah,
his,
he's a fucking wild man.
Yeah.
I like that guy. I had a good time up there. Do you do that?
I did it once in Rochester, New York. Shout out to Brother Wheeze.
Yeah, Brother Weeze. Yeah, Brother Weeze. I'm going to do it again in December. I'm back up there in December. I'm booked through 2020.
That's great.
Thank God.
You're one of the good guys, and I'm
Thank
glad you could
Chad.
come on the podcast.
I appreciate it. You too.
Yeah.
Well, at least I think so.
Hey, listen, if I get along with you, then we're good.
Good. That's good. Yeah, don't turn on me.
No, if there's a problem, it's just because I don't like you. I'm not a phony. I'm
Good.
really.
I appreciate that because I don't want to fight.
No,
Yeah,
it's not your style.
Don't call me a hack because I am a hack. When people are like, I'm always nervous. Like Kevin Brennan's going to watch my act and go, "This road hack." I'm like, yeah, well, I have to be out on the road. I have to be hacky.
Yeah. Besides, I fight I have bigger fish like Patton Oswalt. I got bigger fights.
I read about it. I followed along.
That was a rough one.
Yeah. No, I feel like a lot of people get in fights with him.
Yeah,
He's way too smart for me to fight with. Fucking more power to you.
Yeah.
You fucking get in that ring. He knows big words and shit. I don't have that. I don't have the vocabulary to fight with Patton Oswalt.
Well, I'm blocked on Twitter now, so there's no fighting with Patton Oswalt or Chris Titus.
Yeah. Oh, is there another one? Oh,
Yeah.
man, you took on the guys who were sharp tongued.
Yeah, I think what made Chris block me is because he kept coming after me. He was defending Patton Oswalt, which he didn't need it. He has $5 million. He's fine.
Right.
And I just kept putting photos of the Janet Jackson headset, like from Rhythm Nation. And he was driving him crazy.
Oh, he's got a hands-free system.
He does that on stage. So,
really?
So I kept calling him Janet Jackson, but those were some good times. Guys, listen to the podcast. 5-star review.
Nation.
Hit subscribe and watch Roadhouse. That's a wrap.
Thank you, Chad.
No.